Ubisoft claims players don't own their video games in explosive ownership lawsuit over racing game The Crew. In a newly uncovered court filing, Ubisoft has stated that players never actually owned their copies of The Crew, but instead received a limited license to access the game. You hear that? You own nothing. You don't own anything. You will eat say bugs. Sorry. The declaration comes as part of an ongoing Ubisoft game ownership lawsuit filed in California after the company shut down the game's servers in March 2024, making it completely unplayable. The class action lawsuit, originally filed in November 2024, claims that Ubisoft failed to clearly disclose the nature of the transaction, selling a full-price product while retaining the right to revoke access at any time. In February 2025, Ubisoft filed a motion to dismiss the claim. Okay, so hey, we sold you this game for $60. Yeah, you purchased the title, you purchased a key for the video game. But guys, we never said you actually owned the video game. Come on. I mean, of course we can just take it away at any time, of course, right? That's how video games work in 2025. According to court documents reviewed by Polygon, Ubisoft's legal team stated the reality is that consumers received the benefit of their bargain and were explicitly notified at the time of purchase that they were purchasing a license. There it is. Hey, you didn't buy the actual video game. You just bought a license to play the video game, as long as we foot the bill to host the servers for the video game. But hey, we can revoke that at any time. This is the future. You will own nothing. The filing further claims that Ubisoft allegedly misled purchasers of its video game The Crew into believing they were purchasing unfettered ownership rights in the game, rather than a limited license to access the game. Whoa! Crazy! The people buying the video game, they thought that they were buying a video game. Imagine that. You buy a video game and you're like, wow, I own this game now. This video game is mine now. I purchased it. Nope, just kidding. It's not. You just purchased a license to play the game until the company that made the game decides that it's not worth their time or money anymore. Go fuck yourself. Oh my god, this is so fucked. Truly the most fucked timeline. Ubisoft also argued that no actual harm occurred, dismissing the plaintiff's claim of false advertising and unfair competition by stating there was no cognizable injury. What? No harm occurred. I mean, it's not like they fucking broke their leg when you revoked access to their game. But yeah, they purchased the game, but now they can't play the video game that they purchased. Yeah. I mean, no harm. What? Full price, but no ownership. When The Crew launched in 2014, oh wow, this is older than I thought. It was marketed and sold like any standard video game, priced at $59.99 USD in both physical and digital formats. Nintendo? What are we doing, Nintendo? However, the game required a persistent internet connection to function, even for single-player content. Hey, we all remember the controversy with Xbox. We know how PlayStation won over in the end. It's because this very reason, right? People were upset because you had to always be online and you couldn't actually get physical copies or trade copies of video games. It was just licensed to your account. And they said, hey, if you can't go online, then hey, you can still play the 360. And now everyone plays PlayStation. Xbox is dead. So we know how this goes. However, the game required a persistent internet connection to function, even for single-player content. Well, there's your problem right there. Why'd you make the game like that? You could have just not made the game like that. But you chose to do that because you wanted to have the right to revoke it from people. Why? Why do you need that power? Just let people have the video game. Just let people play their video game that they purchased from you. When Ubisoft ended support and shut down the servers, the game became completely inaccessible. In their amended complaint filed in March 2025, plaintiffs submitted images of the physical packaging. The activation code listed an expiration date of 2099, which the plaintiffs argue misled consumers into believing they were buying a product with long-term viability. Wow, imagine that. Not only did they purchase a video game for themselves, a video game that they owned because they purchased it at a full price tag of $59.99, The activation code itself was valid to be activated all the way until 2099. That's crazy. Gift certificate allegations. A new claim introduced in the amending filing concerns in-game currency. The plaintiffs argue that purchases of currency within the crew fall under California's gift certificate laws. Interesting. Which prohibit expiration. Oh, interesting. Because the game was made unplayable, any remaining currency effectively expired, prompting an additional legal complaint on that basis. I never thought about that. I wonder if this will apply to all video games going forward. Like, because you can have a wallet in a video game, right? You can buy in-game currency. And then what if they shut down the servers? Are they obligated to refund you with like a gift certificate to purchase some of their other video games, other products? I guess I'm not sure legally how that works. That's interesting, though. The element of the Ubisoft game ownership lawsuit raises broader questions about digital economies, DLC, and microtransactions, especially in games where publisher-controlled servers determine functionality. Yeah, this has been a big complaint from MMOs for a long time. You know, you get into an MMO, you love it. A decade later, it's dead. They're not hosting the servers anymore. How do you play it? Can you play an MMO single player? There are mods for that, but it's tough. Because a lot of these games do have a lifespan. But at the same time, you bought the video game. You should be able to play the fucking video game. Timeline and modder response. Ubisoft has until April 29th, 2025 to file its next response to the amended complaint. Meanwhile, some players have managed to revive the crew through unofficial means. Okay, modders. Yep, a group of modders have created the necessary server-side infrastructure, allowing limited functionality despite the official shutdown. Ubisoft has not commented publicly beyond the filing itself. Yeah, modders are always the ones picking up the slack at the end of the day. It's always the modders. They're the real heroes of the gaming community. I mean, geez, look at Skyrim. Skyrim has been one of the most lively games for, God, since 2011. And that's thanks to modders. As debates over digital ownership and consumer rights continue, the outcome of this lawsuit may have a lasting impact on how companies handle server-dependent titles and how consumers understand what they're really paying for. Well, hey, look at it this way. If Ubisoft ends up winning, if Ubisoft, or it is Ubisoft. If Ubisoft ends up winning this, then it's truly the dark timeline. We don't own any video games, and companies would have the right to just shut the servers down at any point. But if they win, then they'll have to think twice, right? They'll have to think twice about just flipping the switch and saying, fuck all of you. Because if they have to refund you or even give you a gift card, you know, that would have a huge impact, in my opinion. As debate over digital ownership and consumer rights continue, the outcome of this lawsuit may have a lasting impact on how companies handle server-dependent titles and how consumers understand what they're really paying for. Yep. And that was the end of the article. Okay, so this is interesting. Ongoing lawsuit. Basically, they're saying, hey, the license said it was valid until 2099, and yet you shut it all down, and I can't even play the video game that I purchased for $59.99 anymore. I'm going to fucking sue you for damages. God, I hope they win. Because if they don't, it's going to set a really, really dark precedent going forward where these companies can just flip the switch and you don't have a video game anymore. Yeah, you bought the game for $59.99 or even $70, or in the case of Nintendo, maybe $90. Hey, we don't want to pay to keep the servers up anymore. Just not really worth it for us. Yeah, you may have given us money for the video game, but nah, it's done. It's over. That could be the future. The alternative is that the gamers win and companies have to think twice. But either way, it's still going to be an uphill battle. This is kind of a delicate issue because I've been playing MMOs for a really long time. And I remember I used to play a server called Nostalrius for Vanilla WoW. And that was the only living version of Vanilla WoW at the time. World of Warcraft. And Blizzard shut it down. And there was no version that existed. And they had no plans to create their own version in the future. Eventually, fan backlash was so immense, and there was such a massive push for it that it happened. But that just kind of goes to show that these companies, they don't give a fuck. You want to play your favorite video game, maybe it's even a private server completely unrelated, they will shut it down if they can, even if they're not going to implement their own. So that is the dark future. But we'll see. If this lawsuit goes well, then it could be a big victory for gamers out there. But again, we'll have to wait and see. This lawsuit's still early on and ongoing, but this was interesting. I had never heard about this, but it really does have big ramifications for the whole gaming industry going forward. So I'll definitely try to keep updated on this story. But yeah, thanks for watching. Like the video if you want to see more videos like this. Subscribe to my channel. I'm a new channel, so subscriptions go a really, really long way. And thanks again for watching. Peace.